stream's on. I'm gonna test everything, but looks like we're live. All right,
Alright.
we're all set.
Okay.
Crack my beer, and I guess I'll do the social media stuff as well.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and do a little quick intro, whether it be for people watching now or in the future, or for ourselves when we're 80 years old and we want to watch the VODs back for ourselves. My name's Zerk, and I'll be playing as the DM, and this is a little group we put together and have been playing with for probably the better part of 3 years at this point. We started all those years back playing what was originally a out-of-the-book rendition of the Waterdeep Dungeon of the Mad Mage module, and based on some decisions and some events that occurred, it twisted its way into basically becoming just a base for a homebrew adventure, and that's very much what I expect this campaign to do as well. Though this one, instead of being a arguably far too long dungeon crawler, this is a more RP focused and lighthearted campaign. Yeah, so I guess that's a quick backstory for the group. If we want to go ahead and have you all do some quick introductions just as players, maybe. I believe you all have your socials somewhere, but if you want to just talk about the character you're playing or what you played in the last campaign, like really anything. Right, if you want to start, we'll just go from the top to the bottom of the player list on Foundry.
Sure. My name is Brett. Last campaign, I played a Dragonborn Warlock. That was very edgy and fun to play as. And this campaign, I'm going to be playing as a homebrew, a custom class called the Cardcaster. It's a tarot-based class that's housed on 5e SRD. But I'm going to be trying out that class. And yeah.
And you have an actual set of tarot cards that you've bought and
Yes.
learned to use for this purpose.
Yes, I'm currently trying to organize them. Essentially, a quick gist of how it works is like the spells you have access to, like depending on your level, you draw a certain amount of tarot cards, and based on which cards you draw, each card can be kind of spent to become one of several spells. So there's kind of a bit of randomness to it of like what spells you have to your arsenal. Depends on what cards you draw. So right now I'm just kind of shuffling the cards that I have available in my deck at level 3, and yeah, I'm gonna be learning this class and tarot as well as we go. So it's gonna be fun.
Cool. Dan?
Dan's AFK, it looks like.
No, just skip me for right now. I gotta take care of something.
Okay. Well, then we'll go with Kaylin.
Kaylin. Last campaign, I played several characters to met their untimely end.
Oh yeah, same.
But the most recent one, when we finished the campaign, was a Eldritch Knight Warforged. This campaign, I'm going to be playing a Tabaxi Warlock. So, yeah. Looking forward to hopping into the Feywild, that's for sure.
Cool, I think you're next. Tyler.
Sure. Yeah, my name is Tyler. I'm a 3D character artist by day, and I really like D&D. And let's see, the last campaign I played a gnome ranger who with a really annoying voice, so that was really fun. And got to play him through the whole 3-year campaign, thanks to maybe a little help from the DM. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to this campaign because this character is a lot different and probably a lot more lighthearted overall. So it'll be fun. Oh, and I'm starting to learn mandolin just for the occasion. So.
Yeah. Other interesting facts about Tyler is he's the one that initially suggested we stream/record the start of this campaign. We'll figure out if we continue it through the entire campaign based on how people feel, but props to Tyler for setting that up. And I also believe Tyler is the only player that was able to start from the very beginning of the last campaign and end the campaign with the same character.
Yeah, I guess so. Though
Kyle
went through as well, so.
Yes, Kyle joined later, about halfway through, and he didn't have any character deaths either.
No, I'm just too good at D&D to let my character die. I couldn't imagine.
That'd be pretty
Oh,
heartbreaking.
Yeah, going back to Kaylin's point, my character was also my third character of the campaign.
We were the unlucky crew.
Yeah, we both had some unfortunate deaths early on, and then another unfortunate death together. And so yeah, I was there with her on the 3-character squad for one campaign.
Cool. Let's have Kyle introduce himself, and then see if Dan's back after that.
Hello, my name is Kyle. I played a rogue in the last adventure, all the way through. I think I joined you guys maybe like a year into your first campaign, so I'm relatively the newest person in the group, but I think we still played together for like a year and a half. I'm going to be playing a young furbolg, a woman, for this campaign. And I'll talk a little more about the background of my character in character and content. So,
Cool. Daniel?
he was taking care of some stuff.
Perfect timing. Perfect
always with him.
timing. So, you guys can hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Sure can.
Okay, cool. So last campaign, as mentioned by the previous party members and Zerk, it was much more combat focused, and I played a cleric because I knew somebody had to try to keep us alive, and for that reason, Zerkery maliciously and hatefully killed my character, and so I had to go.
Tell them about the stone shape.
A story for another time.
Yeah, that's an entire stream. That's its own saga. Long story short, I played a cleric, had an absolute blast, and most importantly, we played consistently. I mean, life comes up, and sometimes we'd skip a week or move the day of the week, but this is the most consistent group of players I've ever been a part of, and so that rules. And this campaign, I will be playing Cade Kalsang, and he is an ASMR monk.
Did you say ASMR?
Yeah.
He's gonna whisper the whole campaign.
I'm gonna punch you in the face right now.
Yeah,
Roll for initiative.
Dan's mention about our schedule reminds me of a few things I do want to bring up just for the VOD's sake. Before we start here, we do play on Foundry. We initially started on Roll20, but Foundry was released and starting to get more support from the community, and it had a lot of cool features that Roll20 just didn't have. So about halfway through the last campaign, we swapped over, and we've been here ever since, if anyone was wondering. And our schedule is tentatively every Tuesday at 6:30 Central, and we play for about 2.5, 3-ish hours. And of course, like Dan said, stuff comes up, and you know, sometimes we don't play, sometimes we change the day during the week, and etc. But I'm sure no one here or there is a stranger to hectic D&D schedules.
just as a program note, our cams keep getting switched around, so if you see me switching them now, that's why. We gotta work on the kinks on that.
I think it was just because I turned my cam back on
Oh,
and
gotcha.
maybe jumped the order.
Cool.
Cool. Well, now that introductories are over, if you guys are going to swap back to your icons, you can go ahead and turn off your cameras, and we can get those set up. Last chance, does anyone have any last questions or anything before we start here?
Yeah. Well, one more thing I'll say is just we're eventually going to have some art for our character portraits here, but in the interim we've got these handy little light up dice that we'll be using, so that we can follow roleplay and everything.
If you're interested in seeing what that will probably end up looking like, you can look on Tyler's Twitter, I believe. That's where you posted the busts you made of the last characters.
Yeah, and I'll actually post those on our Mad Lads Twitter as well, so yeah, you can follow that. That's in the corner. So
The benefit of everyone here being in game dev or aspiring. So
100%.
Not me, bro. Wouldn't be caught dead.
Does Mad Lads have an Instagram?
Not yet, but maybe one day.
Oh, we'll figure that out.
Yeah, we need to facilitate, fan art and all that other stuff that's going to come.
Of course.
We already have more viewership than like 90% of the platform on Twitch right now.
Nice, we're killing it. It's mostly
9
us.
viewers.
It's mostly us watching our own stream.
That's-
6 of it is us.
You can get 3 from the same IP. So go ahead and open incognito
Get those
and
tabs
mobile.
open.
Jeez. Yeah,
Triple our viewership day one.
already
Go.
nervous enough. I am intentionally ignoring all of the.
To me,
recording
it's
stuff.
just a recording for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Whoever wants to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, whoever wants to watch will be great, but
I can't wait to relive our many character deaths.
Yeah. The only thing I am maybe a little worried about is the part at the end of every session where we read our credit card details out loud.
Yeah.
Shut up, dude. That's so funny. It is ceremonial.
Just
go
as like,
last.
a symbol of trust.
join us next week.
It's like
If we have money.
we can't, squeeze our blood together in person, so
I actually do have a question. Zerk, how do you want us to deal with dice if we're rolling in real life?
Just tell me what you roll.
It's
Okay.
the honor system. And
Okay.
Yep. And then add, I guess, your numbers. But,
Yeah.
Sounds good.
yeah. So everybody watching the stream should be able to see our dice rolls, the digital ones on the right, and any ones we do in person, we'll just say them out loud. So.
Cool. All right, are we ready? Are we
Yeah.
done stalling?
Let's go.
All right. So
gonna
we
make me
will
cry.
begin our new adventure in the southern portion of the Sword Coast, on the continent of Faerun, on the world of Toril, just about south of the small farm village known as Salbar. And just for reference, it's about a week's ride northeast of Baldur's Gate and a little bit farther of a ride to the southeast from Waterdeep, where our last campaign took place. The landscape is, bathed in dim light because the hour of the day is approaching the evening hours. We're in late evening at this point, kind of approaching dusk. And we zoom in on a kind of not fully fledged out road. It's kind of a dirt road that stretches between Baldur's Gate and the Eastern Tradeway that travels to the southeast of Salbar. And we zoom into a caravan, a rather large caravan filled with hooded wagons and unhooded alike, many people walking alongside the wagons, all dressed in very festive clothing. No surprise due to where they're heading. Their destination is just mere hours away after many, many days of traveling from the major cities and the surrounding smaller towns and villages. The Witchlight Carnival has arrived on Oral for the first time in 8 years. Just about southwest of the Forest of Worms, which is to the northeast of the small farmland village of Salvar. As we zoom in, we focus on a hooded wagon of not really any particular. It emblazons some symbols of Baldur's Gate, suggesting its original, setting out point. But let me go ahead and get some cart ambiance going here.
It's like I'm there.
We zoom in on a seemingly random cart and head inside to the hooded area, where we see a few individuals either sitting on the ground of the cabin as it rocks back and forth along the dirt road, and it's kind of a heavier ride than you would expect. The amount of traffic that this road has gotten this time of year because of the carnival have kind of caused a lot of heavy indentations into the hard dirt and mud. So it's a pretty rocky ride, but that doesn't seem to keep one individual inside of this wagon heading north asleep until the wagon does hit a particularly large hole in the road, or maybe it's a rock or something, but the the caravan gets jostled pretty heavily, and we see a man wearing what looks to be a long dark coat with a very pronounced collar get jostled awake. We seem to have been dozing off, but is all of a sudden jostled awake in this violent way. Brett, if you would like to describe your character for the group.
Ah, jeez, man. These roads are a bit bumpy. Well, I guess nobody's here, but the individual is a 6 foot, maybe late 20s, early 30s human male, wearing a nice white button-up fluffy dress shirt with a kind of dark purplish overcoat, medium to long length brown hair, very pretty, very got a smug attitude around him, and he's kind of like propped up against his own like backpack knapsack. Yes, I kind of. He's like he was sleeping and napping against his own bag just to make sure no one rifles through it or takes it or anything. But kind of nicely kept, hair kind of pulled back into small ponytail, and then just kind of long bangs draping down the sides of him.
Awesome. Yeah, you wake up and you immediately see, one of the first things you see is another individual sitting on the opposite side of the wagon. And you quickly look around and there's not really anyone else in here. It seems like the front of the wagon, the interior portion of it is stacked with kind of crates and containers with whatever may be in there. But there's really only enough room in here for 2, maybe 3 people towards the back opening of the wagon. And this individual kind of peeks up when he sees you awake, and I'll give you a quick description of this individual. This person is a halfling man. He's got bright red hair, and he looks to be adorned in either very new or completely new adventuring gear. He's got some dark olive green clothing underneath what looks to be a very pristine, almost right off the shelf leather chest piece. On him, he's got some leather bracers, and you can see he has a dagger to one side of his belt, and strapped across his bow is what looks like a bow and arrow made of some dark oaken wood. And you can see his dark red hair kind of extends down past his sideburns and into not a full beard, but kind of a in the process growing beard, if you will. And he looks at you and he goes, "Oh, you're finally awake."
And the man will just kind of like rub in the back of his neck, like as if it was sore and it was a pain to wake up. Yeah. Do you happen to know how long we've been traveling now? I mean, we gotta be coming up close to the carnival, right?
He kind of peeks his head out the kind of low-hanging awning of the back part of the wagon to kind of peer out towards the direction of the sun, and you can tell it's getting to the hour of twilight outside at this point. He's like, most of the day, I mean, you impressed me. You've been asleep for quite a while there on this rather bumpy road, but it's good that you woke up right now, because from what I can guess, we're almost there. We should be coming up on Saubar here in any moment, and then there'll be a quick jump off the wagons and a short trek out towards the forest. We'll be there.
Well, I guess that's pretty lucky on my end. I mean, it's been a rough week so far. I'm ready to get out of this forsaken wagon. But I mean, take it from me. Get as much sleep as you can now. I doubt we'll be getting much sleep once we get there.
I can imagine not. But you best be ready to pull an all-nighter of fun. I'm so excited. I wasn't old enough to go to the carnival the last time it was in Faerun. Have you been?
Oh yeah, tons of times. I mean, practically live with this thing. I'm just kind of getting a ride back to my home for the sake of it, but it kind of changes up every time, so you never know what to expect. So I can't prep you too much on it, but leave the good parts for surprises. But yeah, get yourself some rest. It's like you said, it's gonna be a long night and probably not a lot of sleep.
Oh, I can't sleep right now. I'm too excited. Are you from around here? Sorry, what's your name?
The name's Domino, but please tell me whatever you want. But I mean, look, please don't take this personally, but you might be wired, and that's great. The excitement's wonderful, but as a veteran of the carnival as such myself, like I said, not a lot of opportunities to catch a wink while you're at the carnival, so I'm going to take advantage of the time I have now, even if we're getting up pretty close. I'm going to try and snooze a little more.
Of course, I didn't mean to disturb you. I'm sorry.
No, not at all. You're excited. It's fun.
Okay. Are you gonna lay down and go back to sleep?
Domino's gonna reach into his pocket and pull out a deck of cards, look at the top card, put it back, and then he'll kind of pull his like makeshift hood up. He has a hood. He'll kind of pull his hood right below his eyes and kind of like lean back a little bit. He'll like stay awake for a little bit just to keep an eye on what this person's going to be doing, but for the most part, he's going to try and go back to sleep.
Okay. So as you take a look at your cards and you put them up, and you pull your hood back, and the halfling seems a little disappointed that you weren't interested in talking to him much further. He definitely seems like he's on edge, and he was very polite, but he seems, from what you can gather on your surface level, kind of just guess of him, he has no intention of going to sleep. He is like basically jumping up and down in his seat, basically.
Yeah, I figured Domino clocked him as kind of being a little too overexcited to the point of annoyance and was just like, I don't have the energy to expend to deal with this. Said it good. And just for I guess the other players, I know the art will come up in Foundry in a little bit, but this is the artwork for Domino.
Okay, yeah, here, I will go ahead and show.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and show.
Where'd you
it to
get that?
Yeah, you want to pop that into
Drew it. Oh, there you go.
Let's go, dude.
Domino. Let's go.
He looks even cooler than I pictured in my head.
How many Heart of the Card jokes can we make in one campaign?
True. Wait till I start talking about his grandfather.
Okay,
You're about to be banished.
I had to start the campaign with a "Hey, you're finally awake."
In a wagon. I loved it.
All right,
You're
so
right.
you sit back, and you try to go back to sleep, and you're not really successful at this point. You know, it's getting dark. You already feel well rested, but it doesn't keep you from trying, right? And it's only about an hour into you failing to fall back asleep, or to get into a deep sleep at least, that you hear some of the wagons ahead of yours kind of come to a kind of a screeching halt. Not abrupt, but, you know, just a sound a wagon makes when it stops on a dirt road. And you hear far off in front of the line that you're in, you kind of hear some gruff voices go, "Whoa, whoa, whoa," and to stop the horses. And you notice the individual that the halfling kind of peeks his head out of the back of the wagon and goes, "Oh," and you see him hop out and curve around towards the front of the wagon and disappear from your view.
At this point, I'll take my hood off and kind of start going to the back of the wagon to exit and see if we're actually here.
Okay. You go back to the back of the wagon, you peer your head out to look towards the front of the caravan, and you see that you're not at the carnival currently. But what has happened is the caravan has come to kind of a crossroads. One larger road that looks much more permanent, if you will, much wider, and you can immediately recognize it as the tradeway that lies to the south and extends up to the northwest of where you currently are. You look and you see that there's a second caravan that has basically hit this crossroads coming from the northern direction almost at the same time, and the caravans are both having to stop to decide which one is going to proceed first. And you see a couple of the, you know, you've been with this caravan for the last week coming from your destination, so you kind of already know the individuals that are in charge, and you see that they're, you know, hopping off some of the front caravans and heading towards the northern caravan to talk with its leaders to kind of hash things out. But you kind of have this moment where everything's kind of paused for a moment.
Domino's gonna kind of look up and down the convoy and just see, like, miss. He's gonna take out his deck again and not look at them, but he's gonna pull off the top 3 cards of the deck and just kind of, like, sleeve them a little bit and, like, hang on to them, but tucked away. And he's gonna kind of start walking up towards, I guess, the head of the caravan where, like, the groups are amassing, and just see what he can kind of eavesdrop or collect.
Okay, sure. So you want to walk towards the front where this kind of like meeting is happening?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you see that a lot of the individuals, you start walking up there and you see that a lot of people from your caravan are doing the same. And same goes for the other group of wagons, though it doesn't seem like the other caravan is as large as yours.
Mhm.
You see that everyone's kind of, well, some people, not everyone, it's not like they're really crowding the space, but you kind of get within earshot of where you can tell that the caravan masters are meeting, and you see your caravan leader meet with a gruff-looking man from the other caravan. You know, they shake hands rather heartedly. It seems like this type of process is not foreign to them. This happens a lot, especially on the major tradeways. You're not close enough to be able to like catch what they're saying, but if you want to get closer, you can to try and eavesdrop, or you can just wait until it finishes and see how it resolves.
Yeah, I mean, as long as nothing alarming to be happening, I don't need to be a part of it. I'll kind of do that thing where I'll look like I'm like inspecting the wagon that's next to me or something. We'll like keep glancing up at the front and seeing what they're doing.
Okay, if you want to look around to see if anything's amiss with the other caravan, you can go ahead and make a perception check.
All right, first roll of the campaign. Go. 17.
17. Okay. In a lot of ways, it looks very similar to your caravan. There seem to be wagons that are emblazoned with the markings of cities of the north. You see a couple wagons that are marked with the crest of Waterdeep, as well as very few that, you even see one that is marked with the symbol of Neverwinter. A city that lies far, far to the north, and they must have traveled for a month and a half, 2 months to get to where they are right now. There are a lot of other wagons that just seem to be trade wagons, personally owned, that aren't marked with any sort of symbol like that. And nothing really seems amuck, It seems lightly guarded with some, men-at-arms, much like yours is, just for highway security. But something does catch your eye, and it's particularly the front wagon. And certainly over the past week, you've gotten used to seeing people in strange outfits, and even a lot more of the exotic races that you yourself haven't had a lot of exposure to in the past. You see what seems to be the leader of the front wagon hop off. Seems to be some sort of entertainment-looking figure. He doesn't look as built and stock as the leader from your wagon. But what he leaves behind, sitting next to him, almost kind of like slumped down on the wagon, is a small creature with white fur in a small cloak that you can't really tell if it's the individual's demeanor or if it's just like has even more of a aptitude for falling asleep and staying asleep in rough situations than you do. But you see a small tabaxi sitting on the front of the wagon. And Kaylin, if you want to go ahead and describe your character.
Yeah, that's pretty apt. She's petite size in nature. Almost all white fur, save for a few kind of faded black spots, some darker in others, in other areas. And she's wearing a deep blue cloak that has a lot of geometric shapes on it, painted in gold. Some is embroidered, some not. And currently she's asleep, and kind of you could see her tail, which is pretty fluffy as well, and it is twitching kind of aggressively. Like she's trying to stay asleep, but yeah.
What a cool image.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank Pinterest.
How tall is this tabaxi?
She's like maybe like 4'5" or something like that, like 4.5 feet. She's very short.
Cool. Well, and that's really the only thing that piques your interest. You seem very drawn to this individual, Domino, dressed much more ornately and has an air of mystery to them that piques your interest much more than a lot of the mundane folk that you've been spending your time with to get where you are right now from Baldur's Gate.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
Go ahead. I was gonna say, does this individual look like they're either alerted or anything about the fact that we're stopped and like everyone's conversing at the front? Or are they just vibing?
Think about it like a kid trying to stay asleep on a car ride.
Okay.
She's like curled up and like actively trying to sleep, but not really paying attention to her surroundings.
Awesome. So, after a few more moments, the two individuals from the head of each caravan kind of, you can tell that they've come to an agreement. They shake each other's hands once again, and they start heading back. And as they do, the kind of group of people that had gathered around to kind of mingle amongst one another also begin to disperse back to their individual wagons.
As soon as I see the group kind of break up, I'll kind of like hurry back to my wagon and not be suspicious, and wait to see if anyone brings any information.
Okay. You head back. The halfling individual is not there. He is still somewhere amidst. So you are alone in the back of the wagon, and you already hear the of your caravan beginning to pull itself forward. It seems like the decision was made that the southern caravan would head in first, down towards Saubar, and the one coming from the north would then pursue right behind you all.
Was the halfling a kid, or was the halfling like an adult age?
I mean, it's probably harder to tell than other races, but he was definitely, not an adolescent. He was a young man.
As soon as like the carriage starts pulling away, I'll kind of like, I don't know if there's like a curtain I can reveal for the driver of the cart that I'm in. Be like, hey, I think aren't we missing someone? Didn't we have someone else back here with us? We just going on? What's going on?
Your wagon does begin to pull forward, at slower than a walking pace almost, but it begins to gain speed. And as you pull back the front curtain to question the driver, you hear, wait! And you see bounding in from the side this halfling individual, kind of doing, he breaks out into a full sprint. It seems like he's very nervous that he's going to get left behind, but he quickly finds that, the cart isn't really going that fast. So
extend out a hand to like pull him into the back of the cart. So.
Okay. Yeah.
Wait. So this cart is passing my cart?
Your caravan is waiting. Yeah. Domino, your wagon is the last wagon of the caravan, so you could see this, Kaylin, if that's what you're asking.
I'll say to the kid once he gets in the car and be like, as if I wasn't just asleep, like, see kid, you start snoozing off, you're gonna miss the fun parts about like actually going to the carnival and such.
Cool, yeah. He started with a full sprint before getting to it, and then realized that you could tell he got a little embarrassed and started to just do a short jog, and then he took your hand, you pulled him in and told him that, and he goes, oh my, I have never seen a caravan from Waterdeep before, and I just had to speak with some of those individuals from the north side of the Sword Coast. Thank you for holding the wagon for me.
Hey,
I would not have wanted to walk.
I mean, hey, whatever your priorities are, but we're going to the same place, so everyone's gonna be there when we get there.
Yeah. No. Thank you.
No worries. And
my name's Shay, by the way. And
Shay, nice to meet you, Shay. Domino. I think I mentioned that already.
Yes, you told me that. Yes. Are you around? Are you from around here, or did you come from the south?
Yeah, I mean, I've been kind of back and forth. I've been chilling over in Baldur's Gate for a little bit, but nice group of people here, heading to the carnival. Figure it's if there's enough people going here, it must be worth it, right? So you can go see what all the fuss is about.
I mean, it only comes around once almost a decade, so
How is that?
certainly.
Is that so? What, I mean, where do you think it goes in the meantime? I mean, surely in the off season they got to be doing something for money.
Ooh. Again, I've never been, but from the stories I've heard, ever since its arrival here, it just travels around the different planes of the material plane.
Ah.
All the different realms.
Is
Goes
there,
to one, maybe one every year, and it cycles around here every 8 to 9. I'm not sure. That's just what I hear.
Is there a specific thing from this carnival you're really looking forward to? Like, what got you out of bed this morning to trek all the way down here? Just the carnival itself? You like the popcorn? What is it for you?
I mean, it's a carnival that uses magic to go to different worlds all the time. I mean,
I guess that's true. I set the bar too low.
yeah. But that's okay. Is your family from around here? You mentioned that your family, like, you were using this to head back to them or something?
Maybe. I mean, this seems like a place they could hang out. I mean, who knows? It's a carnival. You never know who you're gonna run into here, but at the moment, no. But like I said, you never know who pops up. But yeah, it's a place to mingle, meet new people, make some money, spend some money. Who knows? Like you said, it's a carnival. There's lots of things.
My family's ancestral home is in the Trailta Hills, which is not too far, down to the southeast from where the carnival is, so perhaps afterwards I'll visit that.
Domino's just nodding, uninterested.
Yeah, you're doing the, yeah, man, that's crazy type of, like, courtesy. Yeah, and he goes on for a little bit. Kaylin, did you want to say anything?
Just that as the caravan that isn't hers is passing by her first, she stands up very much like a child and starts shouting, "Merton, you said we were going to get in first! I've been waiting weeks!" And that's all you see is this tiny figure like angrily waving at another person on the caravan.
And you and Domino, you definitely see this towards the end of your conversation that you managed to diffuse with this halfling individual, because again, Kaylin's, and sorry, can you just for the group and for anyone listening, can you pronounce your name once again?
Yeah, it's Makit.
Makit, okay. Makit, Makit and her, yeah, I know, but her companion are the front wagon of the second carnival, and you are the last. So you would be seeing this small creature throwing a fuss, basically right outside your back window. Domino.
He'll just kind of like chuckle and say to Shay, be like, "Well, I mean, I guess we lucked out, my friend. Like, you could be in that wagon, coming in last. But guess we'll get to see the carnival soon enough."
In response to you, Makit, Martin just goes, "We've traveled for over a week, and that's what you're going to complain about at this point."
Yes, I'm sick of being in here. I want to go see the games.
Oh,
You promised me games.
They're going to beat us by like a minute. Like, the carnival goes all night, if from what I've heard is to be believed. You'll have more than enough time to go to all the attractions.
Promise me that we won't leave early.
No, you have to pay good money for the ticket. We're gonna stay there all night.
She just kind of sits next to Merton and with her arms crossed and just starts pouting. And she's like, "Fine. It's
Look,
okay, I
I've
guess."
had to deal with it for the past week and a half. Don't do it to me in this last little bit.
Fine. I'll just try to go back to sleep again. And she like dramatically like
No,
tries to
stop.
pretend to
I don't
sleep.
want to have to wake you up. No, waking you up is already difficult enough.
Fine.
Everybody's
just
doing the Skyrim
stare at the
sleep for
dirt.
2 hours.
Yeah, I'm trying to fast speed the time, but it's not working.
All right. So the caravans continue. They've kind of joined up at this point to become a mega caravan, and you guys are heading just for about an hour down to the southeast, and you begin to see the kind of rural tops of several village houses and bordering like wooden walls, and you are quickly you quickly come upon the farm village of Salbar, and due to the size of the caravan, the half that is yours, Domino, kind of overshoots the outskirts and kind of the boundaries of the village and its surrounding farmland by quite a bit, just because they want to give everyone like a centralized location to hop off. And you begin to hear again, and for the last anticipated time, the caravan come to start grinding to a halt, and that sound begins at the very front and then travels all the way down to where your caravan starts stopping, and Makit, yours starts stopping as well. Until finally they come to a full stop, and you hear from far off in the front, down towards the front of the caravan leader from your side, Domino, go, "All right, we're here. The caravans can't go off-road, so get your belongings and start trekking to the north. If you need lodging or water, I'm sure the people of Salbar will be willing to accommodate as much as they can, but don't hassle them." And you start to hear, a mass unpacking and surge that's coming off of all the caravans as people start unloading.
Domino will grab his bag, sling it over his shoulder, and go to hop out of the cart. Kind of like mutter enough for Shay to hear, but she'd be like, "Well, hope it's not muddy at least. I don't want to get all this dirty before showing up."
Thankfully, it is not muddy. It seems to be a dry few last days in this part of the country. But you do look out and you see that, the village of Salbar, the amount of accommodations they can probably provide essentially a tourist caravan of this size is probably very limited. From which you can guess, the population of the village is maybe 50 to 75 people, somewhere there, a few families, and most of the area that you can see is just wheat fields and other fields of various crops and whatnot. And you can see, thankfully, between the fields, obviously, are small dirt paths, and you can already see a few individuals. It's a very surreal sight, seeing these flamboyantly dressed, costumed people jump off and hurriedly head into what seems to be the entrance of almost a corn maze, and they just disappear out of sight. And you look in the direction that you suspect that path leads, and you can see brightly colored, just the tops of very large tents in the distance, and beyond it, just a wall of very tall and dark-looking trees, very far behind it.
All right, I'll start marching away with the group, kind of staying in the center of the pack.
Okay, so you're going to go ahead and head in. Merton, at this point, Makit, he says, "There, we're here. We're here."
You just hear her jump. She jumps down and she starts going, "Eh!" and she's like squealing and starting to just kind of run around.
Okay, yes. You have to help me unpack our things first. You can't just go off.
That sound of cat claws on wood going like
She's very excited. Okay, well, she wordlessly just kind of nods and starts grabbing stuff and trying to load up as much as possible so she can start getting out of here.
Okay, cool. Let me. Alrighty. So you take a few moments. It's a very long and painful about 5 minutes it takes you to help Merton unpack your things, and you didn't take much, right? It's not like you're taking your overnight belongings because you know that the carnival runs all throughout the night. And Merton goes off to a very stressed-looking stable hand of Salbar, who seems to be taking in, far too many things at once as people are trying to, ask him where they need to pull their cavern or their caravans off to, and whatnot. But it seems like most people are in the process of pulling the caravans off the road slightly, so that if any traffic does come through, you're not blocking the entire tradeway. Merton goes through that process, kind of latches up the back wooden door of your hooded caravan that kind of was swinging down as you were riding, but has latched it up. And he says, "All right, I guess we should just follow where everyone else is going."
Sounds good to me. I don't know where we're going. Well, other than the carnival, but you've been in this area more than I have.
Yes, I haven't been off-road in this area, but I hope that these individuals know where they're going. And you can see him kind of put his hand above his eyes and looks out in the distance to the northeast. And from what I can tell, those tent tops are probably what we're looking for. So let's get going.
Okay.
All right. You head off. So, some time passes, and it's not a long trek, but it's also not short either. It's about a 20-25 minute walk through some fairly uneven ground, and you finally arrive just at the hour of twilight almost. As the stars begin to peek out of the clouds in the night sky, you come to the precipice of a spectacular carnival. And you look up, and again, you see the first stars of night kind of twinkle above a very quickly waning sunset. You look up and you see giant dragonflies whirring overhead, trailing streamers, and you begin to see the beginning of a low mist begin to curl in from the nearby forest over the grounds. Through several floral archways, you glimpse wondrous and vibrant creatures, and this goes for both of you, Domino and Makit. You see, kind of further up ahead in the fairgrounds proper, you see elf stilt walkers, dancing fairies, and painted performers just basically performing almost like street acts, if you will, of spectacular varieties. And everywhere you see and go, there's laughter, there's pixie dust flying through the air, bubbles, and a wistful tune of music coming from the fairgrounds. I will go ahead and activate y'all's icons here. And this will, you'll kind of move these around to determine where you guys want to go in the carnival, if you will. But you already, as you've gotten this close, you can see that around the carnival twists a thin, like, river of crystal clear blue water that seems to sparkle with almost a prismatic hue inside of it, at least from this distance that you can see. You see, to get to the front of the carnival, you have to cross a comically, like, high arched cartoony bridge, if you will, made out of wood. It looks rather like and you look at it, you're like, oh, that's a kind of steep bridge, and you can already see some people kind of struggling to get over it, and you can also see some individuals like kind of contemplating just going around, because some people that are having trouble are holding everyone up, and they should I just go through the water and whatnot. But you're kind of walking up at a controlled pace, and people are just blasting past you, like very excited. So what would you all like to do? At this point, Merton is just kind of following you. He doesn't share your type of energy for this, Makit, but you guys are in close proximity to one another.
Does it look like everyone's just collectively going through this front entrance?
Yeah.
Like, is there anyone like cut it? Okay.
There are people certainly milling about. Like, there are families like trying to, button up their children's costumes and stuff, picking up like the belongings that they drop as they try to rush forward. And you already see some people that look like they work at the carnival. Several carnival hands like picking up small pieces of trash that are either intentionally or unintentionally left behind on, just outside the fairgrounds.
I'll make my way with the group up to the bridge, and while going that way, I'll like prestidigitation myself to like get rid of like any sweat from the hike up here, or like make sure my hair is neat. I'll like straighten my collar of my dress shirt and everything.
That's the most Chad. That's the most Chad thing I've ever heard a spellcaster do. Holy shit! I didn't think about prestidigitating my hair. Good.
As you all head upwards past these like kind of Stonehenge like decorations that line this road, both of you go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Let's
gosh.
20.
Holy crap.
First nat 20 of the campaign.
Yep.
Okay, and that was yours, Mickey, a 13?
Yeah.
Okay. You both see something catches your eye, and it's nothing like inconspicuous, but it just kind of stands out with the amount of energy that's going around here. Everyone is very focused on the carnival, rushing ahead. You see a lot of young parents almost like just paying their even younger children no mind, and then remembering, oh, I have to like keep my kid up with me and stuff like that. You see a small individual near the foot of this tree, not like really hiding, but kind of like squatting halfway behind the tree. And this individual catches your attention because they seem nervous and hesitant to move forward towards the carnival. And you're not sure why, and you're not even sure you want to interact with this person. They just kind of catch your eye, and you can get a glimpse of what this individual looks like. And Kyle, would you go ahead and explain or describe your character for us?
Yeah, kind of half hiding behind the tree, you guys can make out a short, pale blue-skinned furbolg with long ears that drape to both sides. It's kind of obvious that she's there because her clothes are these bright patterned fabrics, and you can kind of see the glinting gold off of her jewelry. She's kind of sitting there watching people go into the caravan, and you can kind of see her left eye poking out from the tree, and it's this bright brown orangish color.
I love that art.
Cool. And Kyle, your character definitely is a little bit overwhelmed. You were here before the crowd, one way or another, and you were nervous to approach the front of the caravan when you were or the carnival when you were just by yourself and a few people were trickling in. But now there's like this throng of people that are excitedly rushing towards the carnival, and you're even more on edge. And again, Makit and Domino, you see this individual, and you both take pause for just a moment to look at them. And Kyle, your character also takes note of them looking at you. They're one of the few people that have given you any attention, even if even for a brief moment, in this kind of hectic scene that's been going on.
My character kind of catches eyes with Domino, and kind of goes, it's kind of behind the tree. Excuse me.
Domino will kind of be like taken back a little bit and like kind of like look left and right throughout the group, like real sus like, and then like look back and kind of like point at himself like, me.
And she kind of gestures and points.
Come
over here.
Domino's gonna be real suspicious and like look around at the group and be like, am I being punked? Is this a carnival thing? Like, why has nobody else noticed this small furball person? And just
Yeah, you would have seen like, as soon as Makit had seen somebody new that she hasn't been traveling with for a long time, she kind of does the opposite of what she's been doing, and hides behind Merton. Because now she's like, oh no, there are more people here than I thought. Especially now that there's someone lurking behind a tree. She's like, uh-oh, what's happening?
It's cool. Come here. It's cool.
like Domino's gonna like slowly like step over, but still looking around as if that like, did this person just wave at me or waving at the person behind me type of like attitude.
And Merton, as you grasp onto one of his legs, is going to look down and look up towards this individual and go, over a week of you jumping up and down, now we're right here and you're too afraid to go in. Look, there's someone close to your size. Perhaps you can go talk to them and make a new friend. Come on. And he tries to pry you off his leg. Like, come on, go talk. Go talk. You're gonna have to talk to people in the carnival. Ow! Stop! Retract your claws, please.
Stay close by.
He takes 2 steps to the right and he's off the road basically, and drags you with him on his leg right here. He's like,
Okay.
no. He's about 10 feet away from the base of the tree.
Okay.
Walk faster.
Yeah.
Walk faster.
Yeah, I'm not gonna walk faster, but I'll still head towards this individual.
Yeah. I keep heading that way as well.
Like, if I see this other now Tabaxi also approaching this individual, I'm gonna kind of like do like a double take fake of like, okay, was I not the one being called? Like, is this other person approaching this person and I don't have to deal with this? Like,
And she's just looking at you wide-eyed, like looking. Her eyes are darting between you and the furball. Like, what is this?
You can both come over. Just chill. Just come over. It's fine. It's fine.
I'm sorry, dude.
Come over here, behind the tree.
I know you. Is there something you need?
Yes, come over here. Just step over here behind the tree.
I'm sorry, but no.
I want to talk to you.
You know,
Listen,
I can hear you right there. You can
That's
just.
fine. Is the carnival open?
I mean, maybe everyone's kind of heading that way. I imagine if it's not open, it's gonna be soon. Like,
Okay, but you can go in now.
it's. They don't seem to be stopping the other dozens of people that are walking in.
Okay, and theoretically, if the carnival was open, how much does it cost to go in? Just in theory, if you had to guess.
Do you not have any money?
That's very rude of you to ask me.
Well, really. I mean, I don't have any money either. Like, so I'm
Well, how are you
looking
going?
for
How are you going to? How are you going to get in then?
one foot in front of the other until somebody stops me.
Okay,
I-
I like your
I have a
attitude.
person, so if we pay, he's paying. And
You
she
guys-
just kind of points at Merton.
Yeah, you guys quickly glance over towards the entrance, and people aren't just walking in; they're walking very hurriedly over the bridge to form an even larger line in front of what looks to be a ticket booth.
Oh well, you see, like all the good tickets are gonna be gone. Maybe just ask the person at the counter. Maybe they can help you out if you don't have any money. But excuse me, I gotta go get my ticket. See you on the inside.
Okay. Yeah, I will. I will definitely see you. And he said, "Okay, come here, cat. Come here, cat person.
Domino's gonna step away.
Okay.
I want to talk to you."
At this point, Damo, the line is like across the bridge, so you only get right here before you have to stop and wait in line.
He's going to groan and just like. Don't worry, it's part of the carnival. I'm sure it's gonna be. It attracts odd people.
Someone about 10, 15 people in front of you goes, "Oh, you're groaning now. Wait till you get to this spot." And you look, and he's in the perfect spot on the incline of the bridge where it looks like his ankles are breaking, having to stand right in where he is. He's like, "Yeah, just you wait."
I mean, depending on how long or how fast the line moves, you can just kind of sit and roll if gravity's working that much against you. But
25 degrees.
I mean, the line, like, you never suspect that lines should take as long as they do, and it's the same case for this one. It does look like it's a simple transaction, but people are taking forever for whatever reason. People are arguing about their children's age to get a discounted ticket, and you just, like, groan.
I'm just gonna mumble to myself.
Cool. We'll go back to the other two.
Okay, come here. Come here, cat person. Come here.
Well,
So you have
what-
you have a person. You say you have a person?
She just looks at Merton real quick.
I see that person,
Yeah, he's
and
right
they are
there.
and they are buying your way into the carnival.
I hope so. He carries all our money.
Okay, listen. Maybe me and you are friends. Maybe we go to the carnival together.
I don't know you, so I don't know how we could be friends.
That's very rude of me. My name is Roma.
Roma.
Roma, please shake my hand now.
She kind of awkwardly puts her hand out, and she's still really nervous, so her claws are out. So she makes a point to try to detract them before she shakes your hand.
Your claws definitely catch her hand, and she doesn't wince, but she grimaces while she smiles. And
Yeah.
and your name is?
My name is Makit. Makit with the golden eyes, to be precise.
Oh, I see
you-
that.
You look at her eyes. I guess I should have described this earlier with her character. They're kind of foggy, like as if she were blind. But instead of just clouded white, it's kind of like a molten gold kind of color. Yeah.
That's while we are shaking hands, Roma looks almost enviously at your eyes and says, "Oh, those are two wonderful eyes you have. So blessed you are." And you kind of realize Roma's hood and cowl kind of fall in a very deep arc over her right eye. And if you look closely, you can see there's actually sort of a tight bandage wrapped around her right eye that matches the color pattern of her bright outfit.
Well, your eye is beautiful as well.
Thank you. I believe in quality over quantity.
Oh, these aren't real gold, if that's what you're thinking.
Are they fool's gold?
I mean, they're just eyes.
Well, let us catch up to your human. But please, I wish to know more about these eyes.
Okay.
She seems kind of like shy now. If she's ever had anybody interested in her eyes. And she kind of walks Roma back to Merton.
Okay.
And says, "Look, I made a friend.
Yes,
Happy now?"
I am her friend.
Look at that. That is fantastic.
Incidentally, though, she also needs money. So
Ah.
can you take that, and
Well, I
I'll
think
pay you back.
I think watching you being forced to make a friend is worth it. Doesn't look like we have to go far though, because you guys turn around away from Merton, and the line is like basically right next to you.
Oh my god.
Yes, it has increased from when Domino added it, but some time passes, and you all get closer down the line. We'll just say right about here. And Domino, you are right up next. There is someone giving the teller a lot of trouble, but they are just about to finish up. And you kind of pull yourself together and prepare to, I don't know, walk up to the ticket booth. I'm gonna swap the music here real quick, and
Ticket booth music.
no.
Hit the ticket booth playlist.
Just elevator music.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't. I'm just gonna. This is gonna be awkward, but I'm just gonna. I need to figure out how to make. Make Me6 play new music without having to make it leave. Alright, you can hear the festive music really kicking off now since you guys are closer. And as you guys are getting closer, you see a stream of fireworks shoot up from behind one of the largest tents you can see down here. If you look kind of up and to the left right here where I'm pinging. This large tent with 3 spires that end with large golden stars behind it, and you hear some fireworks pop off. And you see that as the fireworks explode in the air, it spells out 2 words, grand opening, in the sky. And as you are looking up at the fireworks, Domino, you hear kind of a gruff voice call out to you. And he goes, next! And you look down, and you see that the person in front of you has run off into the carnival.
Domino will kind of refocus his attention on the ticket booth and walk up to the counter. Yes, how's it going, my friend? Just one, please.
Okay. So I'll give you a quick description of this booth. On top of it, there's a silver statue of a dancing fairy is mounted on top of the roof of the ticket booth and surrounded by fluttering butterflies. The booth is decorated with an animated depiction of the night sky with shooting stars arcing across it. So it's actually a moving image, kind of fueled by magic. And you see this individual that has called out to you, looks to be like an elderly goblin perched behind the counter itself inside of the booth, and he's kind of like peering out at you quizzically through a spyglass, and he goes, greetings, fairgoer, just one.
Yep, just one. Thank you kindly.
Could I get your name? And you see he pulls out a small ledger, which is basically just a list, and you can't read anything that's on it, but he seems to be waiting for your name, and then he's gonna like look at this piece of paper.
He's gonna kind of like not pop his collar, but kind of like straighten up his shirt and be like, Domino Faust. Forgive me forgive my ignorance. Carnival works. Is it just one gets me inside the park, or is it like you buy multiple tickets for all the rides and stuff? How's it work here?
Hold on just a moment.
Oh, we're certainly. Yeah, yes. Please take your time.
Yeah, the goblin seems to be combing this list that he's got in front of him. He goes, "Oh, you seem to have a ticket purchased for you already." And he puts down the ledger and reaches his hands underneath the counter and pulls out a small, what looks like silver ornate lockbox and pops it open and reaches inside and pulls out a single ticket.
Well, I mean, I guess I'm not too surprised, but may I ask who my benefactor is? Does it say at all? Who might have left this will call for me?
They wish to remain anonymous.
Well, I mean, I won't argue against it.
Me?
Am
I against it?
No, I said I won't argue against it. I'll welcome any fortuitous blessing that comes my way.
Yes. And he hands you the ticket, and the ticket looks like this. Let me go ahead. That's way too big. There we go. Oh, I think it expanded it. That's a big ticket. Not drawn to scale, but he says, yes, one ticket per participant, and then with each attraction you'll get stamps on the ticket, and if you run out, then you can just come get another one.
Oh, well, wonderful.
Seems you were only purchased one, so if you need another one, you'll have to come back and purchase one.
And I certainly look forward to that.
Oh, wait.
Oh,
I forgot.
I wasn't about to take off. I was about to actually ask you something, but please go ahead.
All right, well, hold on. And he pulls down, and it's weird. You can see inside of the ticket booth. It's just lined it's lined all over the place on all sides up to the inside roof of the ticket booth. It's lined with pairs of what look like painted wooden butterfly wings that are latched on like hooks. And he unhooks one, and it looks like it's just doned in the same fashion like a backpack would be. And he says, participants in the carnival are required to wear these, just so the carnival hands can identify more easily those who have paid their way. So if you take these and go on, put it on for me.
Did I
Right off.
Did I notice if anyone that had gotten their ticket previously had been wearing these?
Yeah, I would say that everyone inside the carnival, from what you can tell, is wearing a pair of these butterfly wings, including individuals that look like their staff as well.
Sorry, repeat it. Is it like a headband thing? Is it like something that's strapped over my back to make it look like I have wings? What is it again?
Yeah, it's like human-sized butterfly wings.
Like Little Miss Sunshine butterfly wings.
Yeah, let me see if I have a picture of it. I don't think
This is amazing.
I mean, please don't take this as me being ungrateful, but does there happen to be other colors that might be available?
Oh yeah. You have a preference?
I always feel like I look good in purple.
He takes the pair of butterfly wings from you and hangs it back up and looks around. And he pulls the spyglass. It's like kind of a small miniature bronze spyglass, and you can tell he's using it as like a magnifying glass for his eye. And he looks around. He's like, I think. Oh no, there's one. And he reaches up, grabs it, and says, "Here we go, purple." he hands it to you, and it's definitely green.
Oh, he's colorblind.
Thomas is just gonna do that fake smile of appreciation, be like, "Oh, awesome! Yeah, this is exactly the Christmas present I wanted." And I'll put the wings on.
Are you accompanied by anyone? Or are you alone? Just every time I run into someone on a VIP list, I like to ask, just in case I don't have to pull it out.
Oh, not just a free ticket, but a VIP list. No, it's just me.
All right. Well, enjoy the Witchlight Carnival.
Thank you again. And, well, actually, don't mean to take up more of your time, but and Domino will reach into his like breast pocket and
Whoa! And you see he quickly pulls out what looks like a small hand crossbow as you reach inside your coat.
Easy there,
with
Tiger.
a small bolt. He's like, "What you doing there?"
I'm pulling out a flyer that came from this carnival, and gonna slowly pull out a folded up flyer that I've been hanging on to.
Real nice and slow.
Yeah, it's I'm pretty sure it was made here. Someone from here hung it up, but just wanted to see if you might know who I can go talk to or point me in the right direction of who to speak to in regards to this, and I'll show him the flyer.
As soon as you pull out the flyer, he goes. As soon as the flyer gets out of your jacket pocket, he goes, "Whoa!" and pulls the trigger of the crossbow. and you see as soon as the crossbow, the hand crossbow bolt leaves the end of the crossbow, it explodes into a stream of condensed rainbow glitter, just all over your front, from the area from your neck down to the middle of your chest, and just covers you in glitter.
Domino's.
As soon as you recover, you look back at him, and the goblin goes, and he's just cackling. He's just like, ah! And you can see that, kind of wisping away off of the hand crossbow is an illusion that made it look like a real crossbow, and what's left behind is clearly like a plastic gun with a canister of rainbow glitter on the back of it. He's like, ah! I got you so good.
Domino's just gonna snap and press the digitation and try and remove as much of the glitter off him as possible. So I've been here for about 5 minutes now, but I'm already convinced you probably have the most fun job out of anyone here.
Yeah, you're damn right. Nicholas knows how to have a good time, if you know what I mean.
Oh, Nicholas. Well, I mean, I'd hope to see you around the carnival again. You look like someone that knows how to have fun here.
Don't worry about spending your magic on that glitter. It's gonna stick to you. It's magic glitter. So all your fancy prestidigitations and whatnot ain't gonna do nothing. But trust me, being covered in glitter is a pro here at the Witchlight Carnival.
Wonderful, because if there's one thing I can't wait to go home and get out of all my clothes, it's glitter.
Yeah, sorry, the gun lasts for anywhere from 36 to 48 hours.
48 hours?
Goodness, dude.
36 is the minimum?
Domino's just gonna be smiling through his teeth. Anyways, I don't want to take up any more of your time. Again, do you know where you might be able to point me in regards to this?
I forgot. Oh, yeah, you've got the flyer for, you card reader.
Well, I mean, I certainly hope so. I don't want to toot my own horn before I even get my chance, but certainly welcome the opportunity.
Just, you're gonna be wanting to talk to Roslov. He's one of the talent acquisitioners here at the carnival.
Roslov?
Roslov, yeah.
Roslov.
Don't know where he is. I don't really leave the ticket booth much over the next 8 hours, but,
Well, no better way to kind of explore the carnival and get used to it than look high and low for him, so,
Well, if you ask a carnival hand, they'll probably know where he is, and they can point you to in his direction.
Well, thank you again. That's a great start to my experience here at the Witchlight, and I'll slide a gold coin on the counter and say, it's been a pleasure talking to you, Nicholas, and again, I hope to see you around the carnival.
Of course. Okay, you head in, and Roma and Makit and Merton, your line process is kind of expedited because you hear Nicholas the Goblin at the counter kind of say to the next few individuals in front of you, "A nice man paid for your entrance, so here's your butterfly wings. You go on in." So it's pretty quickly it's not a lot of time before you, Roma, are next.
Hello, ticket monger.
What?
I'm here for my ticket.
All right, you got a name?
Yes, it's Roma.
Roma?
Roma. It's spelled just like it sounds.
All right, I'm gonna need a little bit more than a first name, little lady.
Okay, is your pen ready? Is your pen ready? Is your wrist limber?
I ain't writing it down. I'm just reading the list.
Oh, okay. My last name is Papa Lamarov.
Papa, what?
Papa, it's spelled just like it sounds. Papa Lamarov.
All right. Roma Papalamarov.
Say it with me now. Please, look at my lips. Pop.
Pop.
Ma.
Ma.
La.
La.
Marov. Papa Lamarov.
Marov. All right. Where's that from? Where's that originate? As he's kind of combing through this list in front of him.
Roma's face kind of drops a little bit. It is foreign.
Well, I'd say so. I've heard ancient drow house names less complicated than that.
Well, I've never heard of any ancient drow last name.
Alright, well. Papalamarov. Yeah, you're on
Very
here
good.
too.
Very good. Wait, I'm on what?
This list. What did you do?
What did I do? I'm simply a patron of the carnival.
Well, you won't be on this.
Who put my name on the list?
You
Tell
won't
me.
be on this list unless you really messed up, Miss Papalamarov.
Okay, so someone put my name on a list, so what? What does it mean?
Calm down, I'm just kidding. It means you get a free ticket.
Oh. Free?
Yeah.
Are you sure it doesn't say I get 2 free tickets?
No. Been at this gig long enough, no, it's just one.
I will take this free ticket then.
Alright, you with anyone else? As he begins to take out the lockbox, or the little box again and pop it open. Hand you a ticket.
I'd snatch the ticket, like, as soon as it's, like, even remotely close to Roma, she snatches it.
Yeah, you better keep that close. You lose it, you're gonna be in a lot of trouble.
She puts it in her, inside of her many scarves, and looks over at Makit and her human, and is like, "No, I am by myself for now, but maybe I won't be later. I mean, who knows?" And scampers away with her free ticket, kind of in a really guarded way.
Okay, Makit, you watch as your new friend immediately abandons you into the carnival.
Looking for just a picture. Maki is doing surprise Pikachu face as she watches her new friend leave, and then she just turns up around and looks up at Merton like, "What?"
Well, I guess you didn't make a good impression.
Oh.
But anyways, we're up next. Go on. Go on up to the counter.
Maki skips up to the counter.
Oh.
And I think she's pretty short, right? So she can't really see very well, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Oh, the goblin really kind of like picks itself up to look down over the counter at you. It's like, "You're a small one. What's your name?"
Makit.
Makit.
Mhm.
Their
With
last
the
name
golden
with that?
eyes. No, it's just a sentence. Makit with the golden eyes.
Ah, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a whole tabaxi thing. I got it. She looks down at the list and says, "It's almost 3 in a row."
3 in a row for what?
For people that have had tickets already bought for them. Here you go. He hands you a ticket. Says,
What? I don't know anybody here. Who bought my ticket?
"Well, it's your lucky day. I don't know. Kind of smiles down at you. You been looking forward to the carnival?
Of course, we've traveled for weeks for this.
Well, that just makes it all the better. You don't gotta pay. Right?
I have a question.
Oh.
That man over there got shot with glitter.
Yeah, I got him good.
Could you shoot me?
Yeah, if you want to get covered in glitter. I've never had anyone ask.
She's
Definitely
kind of
taken
like,
aback.
yeah, she's kind of like,
I won't do you dirty like I did him. I'll just, no need for the illusion of danger. And you
she
see
kind
him
of
take out
stands
the.
straight, and she holds her arms out, and she's like, shoot me.
You can see him it's like a little plastic makeshift gun that you have to pump a few times to get enough pressure. So he's like, oh, just 1 minute. All right, you ready?
Ready, hit me.
All over you. You've got a much smaller frame, so where it just covered Domino's neck and chest, it gets most to you.
She's like, with her fist pumped, she's like, ah, and she just looks up. She's like, look, glitter.
Oh god. Yeah, Merton is definitely like, that's gonna be all over me here pretty soon. I just
Really?
know it.
It takes the fun out of it for Martin when people want to get shot.
You with this fella?
Yes, he's my human.
All right, I heard your name was Merton. Merton goes, mm-hmm. And he looks at the list. He goes, ain't no Merton on here, unfortunately. Awkwardly enough, your little friend is more important than you, so I'm gonna need a few silver pieces from you, my friend. And Merton goes, I'm used to it at this point, especially with this one. How much is it? 8 silver pieces, easy enough. And you see Merton take out a rather, hefty coin purse and shuffle around for 8 silver pieces, hands it over, gets a ticket, and you both now have your set of butterfly wings. Oh! I forgot to give that last one a set of wings. That's probably gonna nip her in the butt. She ran off so fast.
You need wings to stay in.
Yeah, it's kind of like the carnival hand's way of knowing that you paid for your ticket. It's not enough to just have a ticket. Yeah,
Well,
why
if
don't you?
give me-
Yeah, you already knew what I was thinking, and he
Could I
takes
get
off.
a pair of red wings?
Yeah.
It's weird if you give her the right color.
Oh my god, I forgot.
He's colorblind. It's his character arc.
He hands you a set of wings, and it's definitely brown.
Shade of red.
Why
do they have- why do they have
brown wings?
This is good enough.
All right. Make sure you find her quicker than not, because someone will get her and send her back to me. And she'll probably be a little upset because she'll probably have to pay for a ticket then.
Okay.
Anyways, enjoy the carnival. And he kind of gives you a crooked smile. He doesn't have the best hygiene.
She spins around and flings glitter all over the place.
Merton tries to dodge out of the way, but you sling like a horizontal splatter right around his waist area. He's like, oh, well, it was gonna happen one way or another.
We're gonna be able to deck saving throws in our future, I feel like.
Yeah.
Nikki is gonna step off to the side a little bit. She wants to, if possible, cast Find Familiar so she can try to find Roma.
Find familiar to find Roma.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't mention this to the group. I'm
Makeet's familiar.
Yeah.
Go ahead and click the spell for me. I don't know how that would work if you're trying to find.
I just kind of go into like a blind deaf state.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're wanting to use your familiar to find her.
Yeah.
That's what you mean. Okay. I thought you were using it as like kind of a locate spell. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
no.
your familiar appears. Go ahead and describe your familiar.
My familiar looks like a giant spectral barn owl. Well, I guess not giant. It's just regular sized barn owl, which I think is still a pretty good size. And she's gonna just have him fly. Oh, he has a name. What did I name him? Oh, D'Artagnan. And he's gonna fly. He's gonna fly
I
around
love that.
and look for Roma.
Okay.
And I think we kind of are connected. So hopefully he gets the gist of what she looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Real quick, Roma, are you trying to like be stealthy or anything, or are you just like, what have you done since you ran off?
I just. Oh,
go
Roma. Yeah. Sorry, I thought you meant me. I was like, what? I'm just standing here.
I think Roma probably just would have walked forward to this crossroads and is still trying to get her bearings, kind of find what she's looking for at the carnival.
Okay, kind of overwhelmed. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The barn owl will then fly up. I'll go ahead and make a perception roll for it. Okay, yeah. You definitely see through the barn owl's eyes that Roma is, she hasn't dove down any of these causeways or alleyways that lead in different directions. She did just continue onwards, and she's kind of near this strange, small, like looking vehicle that looks like it's like kind of an organ on wheels that's being piloted by what looks like a monkey in a costume, and it's playing a lot of music around
This
it.
is my second character.
Describe your character for
The illusion of domino fades.
Okay. She will just. Considering how people have reacted to her familiar in the past, she will just dart forward and run after Roma. Imagine a small cloaked Naruto run with Slither. 'Cause that's what she's doing. Because we're not in combat, but she's using her feline agility to like dart forward and catch up to Roma before she runs away.
Okay. Domino, what are you doing in the meantime? Did you gotta continue down this main road?
For the past few minutes, like I guess specifically while they were buying their tickets and everything, when before Makeet asked to be shot with the glitter cannon, if she had glanced over, she would have seen me like 20 or so feet into the carnival that just like stepped over to the side and is still trying to do prestidigitation to get rid of the glitter to no avail.
It is like every time you cast it, it's like a speck of glitter you manage to pry off of yourself and dissipate. And
He's like trying to get as much off his face as possible.
You'll keep finding it in your pockets for months, honestly.
thankfully, none of it really landed on your face. Like at most, it's like around your collarbone area and like on your vest and stuff.
He'll just be doing that as much as possible to make himself look as presentable as he can before he starts looking around to try and figure out where to head first.
Oh my god, I forgot you're like actually performing here.
You catch up to Roma, who seems to have stopped kind of in the middle of everything and has kind of pulled herself off to the side, but she's looking very overwhelmed. But you managed to catch up to her, Makeet.
Roma, you forgot your wings.
Why are you following? Roma's very surprised. Why are you following me?
Makeet looks a little sad and her ears kind of droop and she's like, you said we were friends. And you forgot your wings. And she just holds up the butterfly wings.
This is a gift,
Um, from the carnival, I guess. We have to wear them to stay in.
but I can have this now. This is mine.
I don't know the rules on if you leave, if you have to return them, but I was gonna keep mine. I've always wanted to fly.
An admirable goal for a cat. Let us see. I will take the wings now, please. And if you give me the wings, I will give you. And Roma takes out one of her gold hoop earrings and puts it in her palm, opposite the wings to Makit. You will take the earring. It's a fair trade.
I mean, these wings aren't mine anyway, but
You are right. They are mine. And
she just kind of confusingly takes the earring, like, thank you.
and thank you as Roma straps the wings on and and kind of in like a more childlike way than you've seen, kind of swishes around with the wings a little bit on her back.
Akit giggles at that. She's very into it, and she starts to, I don't know, starts getting jittery with energy again.
But
Perfect.
please, calm down. you're
I'm just
shaking.
so
You're shaking.
excited.
Why are you so excited? It's I mean, there's a very lot of people. But
I've never seen anything like this before. It's amazing.
it is quite nice.
At this point, you all notice as you finish your last attempt for at least a few minutes of prestidigitation, Domino, and you guys finish this exchange and are reunited, Makit and Roma. You guys notice that there's a large crowd about right here where I'm pinging to the bottom left, kind of in the space between a few of the smaller stalls past the ticket booth and the space and the big top tent, which is this large one right here, obviously, as it's branded. You see a lot of people are gathering around a wagon that is kind of pulled up right here at the end of these stalls. It looks intricately painted, and most of it's red. Flanked on either side of it are torches, and it's propped up on 4 large wheels that raise it about 4 feet off the ground. Its facade stands about another 8 feet up or so, and it's draped with billowing velvet curtains that obscure a built-in kind of area inside of it. On top of it, the words "The Wild Rose" are painted in gold across the top, and flower motifs adorn the roof and doors. Lastly, standing aside of it is a spotted white pony with a top hat on and a shabby sign around its neck that says "Show starts at 20 past dusk." And you get your sense of a time, and it's about that time. In fact, that's what time it is right now, and that's what you can guess these people are here for as you hear a boom as the front door of the wagon is kicked open, and you see a tall tiefling performer step out onto the stage that this door has now created. And Tyler, would you go ahead and describe your character for us?
Of course. Yeah, you see like a very kind of gaunt, kind of sunken figure with like a big mop of hair on top, and his face is like very ornately painted for the occasion. He's got like sort of flowers adorning around his eyes and triangles, almost like clown paint or something. He's wearing like a crushed velvet kind of suit with like a big jabot out the front of it, and he's in this like bright red, so he definitely sticks out, and he's got these like really tall horns that kind of point towards the sky, and you realize like what you thought was a tiefling for a moment. You kind of like take in all of his features and his little goatee, and you realize he's a satyr, and he kind of shouts at the crowd as this begins. Ladies and gentlemen, the lucid and the drug-induced, harlequin harlots and polka-dot prudes, quick-witted charlatans, dim-witted rubes, the cartoonishly brutish and timid ones too. Come one, come all, gather round, gather round. And he kind of like stands tall and clears his throat. For the benefit of the Witchlight, there will be a show tonight on mandolin. The maddest lads will all be there, never once a dull affair. It's quite a scene. Whether manor, orc, or gnome, or dwarf, a guaranteed splendid time for all. And of course, choose the horse, dances the waltz. And he points to the side, and like right on cue, the pony that you saw in the top hat starts just kind of prancing about and like doing a little two-step on the side. And I'm actually going to go ahead and cast Enthralling Performance.
Ooh, okay. I'll go ahead and show an in-progress picture of the bust that Tyler's working on for his character, too.
Let's go.
All right, Enthralling Performance.
So I believe each target in the area...
Yeah, 60 feet, that's a lot of people.
yeah. Must make my spell DC or be charmed.
All right.
Demographic.
Let's see. And this goes for the player characters as well right here. So,
Saving throw?
Yes. I gotta... Yeah. McKeith definitely passes. So the DC is 13. So...
okay.
I believe Domino fails, but everybody else passes, and whoever else in the crowd.
Okay. The crowd. I rolled for the crowd. They are enthralled by you.
Excellent. Yeah, and so right about this time, the
We use a lucky.
Yeah, the pony on the side, like bows his head a little bit, and the top hat falls onto the ground and reveals that like stitched into the brim of the hat is the word tips.
I thought you were gonna say revealing the horse is bald.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Amazing.
All
Nikki
right.
is not charmed, but she is still very much like wide-eyed, like I've never seen anything like this in my life.
Merton is definitely charmed. Go ahead and just make a last performance check as well for your performance.
Yeah. Let's see. Performance. 15.
Okay. Yeah. No. After your performance ends, the crowd around you erupts with applause and cheering. It was clearly a hit, and you can already see more people than you could be happy with start heading towards the cute little horse's hat that's labeled tips, and you see coins of all colors, bronze, silver, and gold, begin to get dropped in. Merton, you can see McKeith does take out his purse and take out a few coins. He looks to dip his hand in and doesn't even look at what types of coins it is that he pulls out before tossing them, almost flicking them with his finger into the hat. And people just continue to stick around for a few moments to applause as you take a bow and then begin to like slowly disperse a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Nico will just like play a couple little chords while the horse is clopping around, and then he'll very grandly kind of take a bow and kind of fade back into the curtain, and the curtain just closes. And just as soon as he came, he's gone. So like people had been waiting there for a while, and the thing was probably a minute long, and then he kind of fades back and disappears.
Okay. Merton definitely being enthralled, as well as did anyone from the group fail? Domino. Domino.
I used a lucky and saved.
Oh, okay.
Is that allowed?
Is this allowed?
Merton is definitely like, we should talk to that beautiful magician, beautiful performer. Perhaps I could get some tips from him, Makit.
She just kind of looks up and at him and raises what would be her eyebrows, and she's like, "Yes, you are definitely not as good as that guy."
Damn, Makit.
Look, when you are on the road with this gentleman and all he plays is moody ballads,
I don't want to hear it. It's the only thing that keeps me sane with your. Just could you go ask him if I could speak with him?
okay. She'll just wander to where Nico is.
Did you go back in the wagon?
I did, yeah.
Okay, so there's a little door you would have to knock on.
They will definitely go knock on the door.
Okay.
Right in.
You hear a little dum dum dum. Very soft.
Yeah, like as soon as you knock, the door swings open, and Nico like basically walks out past you, and begins to collect his money off the thoroughfare.
Okay, let me go ahead and see how much you got here.
Hello?
Oh,
Excuse me.
oh yes, hello. You enjoyed the show? Yes, you enjoyed it.
Yes, I give it an 8 out of 10.
Oh, good.
Um,
Oh, good. 8. Okay. Well, well, I love to talk to my adoring fans.
Oh, well, I have one of those right over there. And she points behind her at Merton. He was really impressed with your performance, and he would love to talk to you.
Like Nico had grabbed your hand and had like a quill ready to sign it, and then he like looks up and realizes, oh, you were talking about this guy, and he's like, oh, well, yes, of course. I'm glad you enjoyed the show.
Yes, it was good. Yeah.
Just for the record, inside the hat was 10 gold, 21 silver, and 81 copper.
Hey.
How much money did he just make?
It was it was a good run of your performance.
Okay, let me write that.
And the night is young.
And he
Mutters. Roma mutters to herself, I could teach a horse to dance for that much money.
Awesome. Okay. You said 31 copper, 21 silver, and
10 gold, 21 silver, 81 copper.
81.
Damn, I know who's bankrolling the campaign, dude.
Well, nice to meet you, sir.
That was magnificent. How long have you been performing that? How'd you come up with the lyrics?
Well, my songwriting partner, John Lemon, and I, well, never mind that. I've been about. What is time, anyway? Time is such a construct.
Sorry, what was your partner in with the lyrics?
Jonathan Lemon.
Jonathan Lemon.
Never mind him.
Makit, write that down. Write that down.
He's a charlatan.
Lemon.
Ah,
John Lemon is a charlatan. Writing it down now.
I'm a performer as well, and I just, as one artist to another, I just needed to ask you about your thought process. It was fantastic. Bravo.
Thoughts are but a waltz, right? And waltzes are but, thoughts, so... But, anyway, yes, of course. Well, I am glad you enjoyed the show. Yeah, feel free to come back in a half hour or so. I'll perform again for you then.
Are you looking to enjoy the carnival in the meantime? I would love for you to join us.
He sort of like eyes him up, and then eyes up the little tabaxi next to him. But I suppose
She is not dangerous in any way. I promise you.
It's me, I'm covered in glitter. What could I do?
Well, I suppose I am a bit parched, and I haven't been out of the wagon since I've gotten here. I suppose it couldn't hurt.
Please drink on me, at least.
Well, now you're speaking my language. And he collects the rest of his coins and fixes the hat back on Chew's on the pony, and then he like crosses out the time on the sign, and underneath it he just writes soon, and then he says, okay, well, off we go then.
All right. At this point, Domino, you feel a little tap on your shoulder, and you turn around, and there is a individual that is dressed like a carnival hand, saying, she is wearing also a set of butterfly wings, and she goes, Are you Domino Rost? Something like that?
It's Faust, ma'am. But please, pleasure to make your acquaintance. How can I help you?
Rosloff. I was told to lead you to Rosloff.
Oh, perfect. That's exactly what I was looking for.
Nicholas,
please.
Nicholas from the ticket booth. Thought you might get lost. And
It's been about 6 minutes, but you know what? He was right. And I knew becoming friends with him was the best decision I could make in the role. But please, after you, lead the way.
well, no, I have
no?
work I
Okay.
have to get back to. But you see the large teapot attraction, the bubble pop. Teapot?
Yeah, yes, actually, that was the first thing that caught my eye. I was probably gonna head that way myself, but
Yes, he's not there. He is past it.
Okay.
Yes, there's a small park area that's devoid of any attractions, kind of a quieter area with some mushroom trees and benches.
Is he not there either?
No, he is there. He is
Oh, okay.
yes.
Got it. See, yes, our wires were crossed, but
There was some sort of incident that him and another performer needed to attend to with another fairgoer. If you go there quickly, you might catch him. Otherwise, he'll probably head off somewhere else, and then you'll need to find him on your own. But that's where I believe I last saw him, just a few moments ago.
well, I greatly appreciate the lead, and you guys have all been great. Thank you. I'll head that way now.
Of course, if you need anything, feel free to ask any carnival hand, myself included.
And
she,
your name was again? Did she give me her name?
she just turns around and immediately leaves and heads into the big top.
Great. Just remember, if work here, it's gonna be weird. Anyways, he'll turn around and start heading off towards the. What'd you say? It was like a park?
Yeah, it's this little area down here where I'm pinging. Look directly south of the bubble pop teapot. It's hard to see my ping.
Oh,
because it's
okay,
real
yeah.
low.
Left
Okay,
of the
yeah.
cotton candy connoisseur.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I will head that direction.
Okay. All right, you head down there. Does anybody else want to follow? I think the only person that would probably be paying attention to Faust would be Makit. Or do you just want to go wherever Merton and Roma want to go?
Nikki actually does want to head the same way as Faust, to the outstair the Cyclops booth.
Okay. Sounds good. It is definitely on the way. So you will creepily stalk Faust uh, through the carnival grounds at a safe distance. And Roma, are you following Makit?
Yeah, I think I will.
Okay.
Do I detect
And-
them following me?
It looks like we're stalking you. Oh my gosh.
You can make a perception check if you want, Domino, as you head down. Yeah, they're not being stealthy. They're just following you at a respectable distance. Not to be weird. It's very clear that the people you saw at the start of the thing are interested in you.
Not hide it at all, but like I'm gonna keep walking, but like every now and then like turn and look at them and like clearly give them a weird look.
Every time you turn and look, Roma darts behind something.
She, after catching on that you've looked at her a few times, she will just kind of wave at you. She's just gonna wave at you awkwardly. Is Merton with us too?
Merton is with you. He is like glued to you like a PB&J, Nico, and it is getting kind of annoying to you because of the charmed effect. He is just still enthralled by you and asking you all these questions. He's asking you some questions more than once. Like he is just so interested in you.
After Makita waves at Domino, he's gonna stop. You're like, is there something I can help you all with? I know we spoke outside the carnival, but
Well,
Dog.
funnily enough, we're just heading in the same direction as you.
okay.
I want to start the Cyclops. But what are you doing over here?
I mean, I've got business things I'm doing at the carnival, and so that's why I'm sure why all of you were following me. I thought it was doubling down on the suspiciousness, where every time I glance back, this one over here keeps running and hiding, and so clearly was reacting to me. But please enjoy your time at the carnival. It's fine if you're walking this direction too. I just about to go into a very important meeting with someone, and make sure you weren't trying to track me down for some reason. I don't know. This has been an experience, and it's only been like 12 minutes.
I can see that. You're also covered in glitter too. Did you get shot?
No, I came this.
Oh.
Figured I'd blend in a little more.
I mean, I think it's doing the opposite.
Clearly a lie. You saw me before the ticket booth, not covered in glitter.
He doesn't understand why you would say you came with glitter. So she's just like, okay.
At this point, you guys see a carnival hand, a satyr actually, with red and white stripped horns, kind of like candy canes almost, plays the pipes while leading a procession of dancing rodents behind him. And he actually stops for a moment, but continues walking. He stops playing the pipes and he yells out, "The big top extravaganza tonight at midnight! Prepare to be delighted!" And then continues to play his flute, his pipes, and his little procession band of rats continues to dance after him.
Disgusting.
Grifters one and all. Could you imagine being a satyr and playing a pan flute? How rich?
Yes, imagine being a satyr and training an animal to dance.
Domino's just like staring at this new person that I guess I watched the performance too. It was like, oh, I guess this person's just sticking around now.
Who? The Tyler's character.
Nico, yeah.
Nico.
Well, first of all, I am parched, and we are merely walking in the same direction. Fancy it, Chansey, I didn't even see you dancing when I was performing.
Were you talking to me?
Yes, I am talking to you.
I mean, look, the music was great. This place is great. Like, it's a vibe. It sure is. I'm just not the dancing type. I apologize.
And not a tip to be left. He enjoyed my music and then he left.
This is very true.
And I was
Explain.
happy to be part of the crowd appreciating it. I certainly, once I achieve some coin, would be glad to dish it out to the patrons here, but, I mean, to be fair, we were a few feet from the entrance. Are you expecting that everyone that walks by toss a coin?
It is only standard fare.
But the standard fare was at the ticket booth.
Ha! You are a clever one. And Nico kind of mutters to where just McKee and Roma can hear it. He says, "Not a tip left. He must be deaf."
Well, with Domino already starting to be alienated from the group, you you head under the floral archway into this park area, and you see there's not many people here. Like the carnival hand said, it's kind of a small park / rest area. No attractions, while it may be adjacent to a few. Again, like you've said, the carnival just opened. Everyone's very enthralled with all the attractions, so there aren't many people here. There's a young, what looks like drow and elf couple trying to console one of their their child that's dressed up and has dropped a lollipop into the dirt. But you do see towards the left side, underneath a large tree-sized, like what looks like a red rose type plant. It's abnormally large. Is sitting on a bench, seems to be a frail-looking old man. Right here, I'll show you what he looks like. He is this guy. He's got a few small pixies and fairies kind of like floating around him. He's got a rodent kind of nuzzled up against his foot. That seems to have a small like leather strapping attached to it. You also see he's looking in this direction towards this mushroom tree. There seems to be some carnival hand at the top of it helping down like a small child that looks stuck at the top of it somehow. You're not quite sure how they got up there. But you see this individual scoop this child up and kind of do a backflip off the tree and land kind of flatly on his feet, and the child kind of like thanks him and runs off past you guys and turns to look towards the old man. Dan, would you like to describe your character?
Yeah. All right. So, the acrobat that you see, as Zerk described, helping a small child who's found themselves atop one of the mushroom trees, the giant mushroom trees. And so when a child gets stuck on a giant magic tree, what do? And so Cade is dressed in clothes that are not as garish as some of the carnival attire that you've seen, but it definitely looks a little finer even than some of the more costumey clothes. Like maybe it has nothing to do with the carnival at all. But you can see that he gives a very kind smile to the child and the parents as they continue to console him. And after Cade lands on the ground and does a quick little dust off his knee from where he touched the ground, you see a blue sprite come spinning down from the tree as well to land on his shoulder, and you can't quite hear a conversation, but Cade is having a conversation with his sprite, his friend Beowin.
Nice. Did you draw this thing?
I did.
Nice, let's go.
Zerk, did I update with the full art? Or did I just give you the clip?
You just gave me the headshot, which is fine.
Okay.
We can get the full body thing in for next time. But
I'll just drop it in chat real quick.
Okay. Baywin kind of looks like this. She's a small blue sprite that accompanies Cade. And at this point, the old man kind of stands up and says, good job, Cade. I'm assuming we'll need your services again at some point during the night. You would be surprised, but also not surprised at how many individuals get stuck atop trees and mushroom trees from the bubble top. But I appreciate you coming to help me out with this. My days of climbing trees and saving children are quite behind me.
Always a pleasure to help you out, Mr. Rosloff.
Yes. So Roslov looks, and as you approach Domino, he says, hello, fairgoer. Are you enjoying the carnival? It's only been a few minutes since we opened. You already need a rest.
He's talking to me.
He's talking to you.
Domino's gonna like enthusiastically step forward and be like, Yes, I'm very much enjoying my time here, and I believe you might be the good sir that I've been looking for, Mr. Roslov. My name is Domino Faust. I was directed to you from Nicholas at the ticket booth, and I believe you might be the one I must speak to in regards to this opportunity. And I'll take out the flyer and show him the flyer that I've had with me.
Oh, yes, and reaches up and takes it from you with a shaky hand and kind of pulls down some spectacles. And before he begins reading, he says, I could tell you came from Nicholas with the whole, and kind of makes a motion towards his chest.
Yes, I mean, certainly has been an experience. Like you said, you just opened, and I've already feel like I've witnessed so much that the carnival has to offer, and please, like as you said, it just opened, so if you would rather talk business later, I can certainly find you again and go see what the carnival has to offer before we talk about this posting. But I wanted to come in and introduce myself and meet you first.
No, by all means, please take a seat. And I think Cade here is a relatively new hire for the carnival, so he can probably speak to its benefits, if you will. Would that be all right, Cade? I know you have other duties to get back to.
I suppose that'd be all right. I don't think I have another show until. Actually, I don't know. Since we've only just arrived, I'm not.
Oh, I believe your main act is in the big top, so you still have a few hours until your main event.
Right. Yeah, Beowin always reminds me. Never can keep track of that sort of thing.
Yes, well, let's talk. Did you have any friends with you that are waiting on you? Do we need to expedite the process, or do you have time, Mr. Faust?
Please, Mr. Faust, Domino, whatever makes it easier for you to call me. No, I came here on my own. I was just super eager to take in the carnival and see everything that is going on here, and I've already, as you can see, experienced some of the welcome wagon here, as well as seen some of the performers on the way over here, but no, my only thing on my to-do list was to introduce myself to you. So whether we speak now or I go explore the carnival, I'm
of course
free as a bird.
Well, we're looking to fill this. Well, please take a seat. He motions for you to sit next to him as he's sitting back down at this point.
Okay, I'll go ahead and sit next to him.
Okay. I mean, I'll be honest. We're looking to fill the role relatively quickly. As you can see, we've already opened, and for one reason or another, our last tarot reader left us. So his stall is available, as well as all of his belongings that enabled his craft. But are you interested in a full-time employment, temporary, just while we're here on Toril?
Certainly full time. I mean, I'm also more than inclined to take it by year, whether it's just for this current season and setup that you currently have for this outing on this realm, or even extend it beyond that if it works out well to make it become permanent. I think that certainly can be permissible.
Well, the employment is at will. We don't hold anyone against their will here at the carnival. But
Certainly, of course not.
Yes, if you were to be with us full time, you would travel with us to the various locations throughout the years, and I just wasn't sure if you were interested in just tonight or beyond it. But I'd be more than happy to discuss some details with you about the hourly rates per night, the expectations, benefits. Now, if you'd like, and there will of course be a trial period which will be expedited due to the nature of us already opening, and you coming seeking employment on an opening night rather than in between our shows. And that will just entail you performing at booths and seeing how patrons respond to you, and if they respond positively, then I've been in this line of work long enough that that would be enough for me, and I could communicate that to the carnival's owners.
Domino's just kind of like nodding along the whole time, like, yeah, of course. Whatever is the process, I'd be happy to go along with.
Okay. Well, let's begin. Cade, you can be here to yes or no me in case I've forgotten anything, but we'll begin. And you guys start talking details, but as you are doing that, I'll certainly give you those details when we get back to you, but we will move to Makit and Roma and Nico. What are you guys doing? Are you guys still like creeping outside the floral stuff, or the floral archway? Are you wanting to go to this Cyclops staring?
Yeah, Mickey probably would have gotten distracted by whatever's going on in the floral area, but yeah, I don't know. She probably just would have been creeping.
We must find some grub, perhaps from some sort of food hub.
Yes, some sort of like a grub hub, like if I want to eat uberly.
Right.
Yes.
Where would that be?
I'm sure. It's been a while.
Been a while.
DM, would Nico kind of be able to point us in the right direction? I feel like he might have a foggy memory of how this thing is laid out.
Yeah, go ahead and make just a quick, let's have it be just straight up intelligence check.
Okay. Intelligence. I'm trying to remember how to roll that in here. Do I just click intelligence? Yeah, ability check.
Yeah.
Oh, bad.
Okay. You're not quite sure. You know that there's food offered all around.
Right. It's some sort of court, but not of jesters. One where you can sit and rest. Perhaps further on we'll find it.
I will say you do know that the main eating area is called the Feasting Orchard up on the very top northeast side of the carnival.
Okay.
But there are. Ooh, sorry, had to sneeze there. There are numerous like small food booths, kind of like carnival food booths everywhere. You see. Go ahead and make a quick perception check, since you're wanting food.
Okay, and while I'm doing that, I also want to see if I can spot a coin purse on Domino.
Okay.
Scandalous. A scandalous thing to say in the chat.
Just
Bro!
just out of curiosity.
Okay.
2
The
seconds in.
only booth you see around here, and it can just be any of these arbitrary like mushroom-shaped booths around where you're at. You see a booth that's advertising candied apples on a stick. But right here, right where you're currently staying, that's all you can see in terms of food.
Candy apples. Quite entertaining. Yeah, I'll go grab one of those. I'm grabbing for anything right now. Would a lot of you like some? It's on him after all, and he like gestures over towards what's Nikit's
Well,
person's name?
Merton.
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 I mean, I specifically said drink, but I mean, if this is what you would like, then by all means.
Of course.
You could tell kind of the charm effect is like reaching its end here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I'll get my last apple in before
Okay.
before it wears off.
Yeah, he purchases you 3 candied apples and hands. Actually, he gets one for himself too. So all 4 of you have these candied apples. It does seem to be draped with some sort of like sugar caramel mixture, but the apples are like comically large, and in the apples themselves seem to be carved on the surface to resemble like a star or a butterfly or a crescent moon, something like that.
Delightful. Yeah, I'll take a big bite into mine.
Okay.
What does mine look like, Zerk? Which one do they hand me?
Let's see. On yours is carved kind of like a starscape.
Okay, this is okay, I guess. Makit, what does your apple look like?
What's my apple look like?
Yours is the crescent moon. It's basically the same, but the stars are smaller. They kind of dot around a large crescent moon.
Yeah.
Oh, it's very. I have to tell you, Nico, this is very exciting.
Indeed. Well, the Witchlight, it is quite a lot of excitement, yes.
How long have you worked here?
Well, I just come, but once every few years, when it comes to the material plane, you see, I really am more of a hired hand. I don't work for the Witchlight full time. I prefer the comfort of this plane.
Yes, me too. I love this plane. That's my favorite cinema in Norway. But yes, oh yeah. Okay, well, it's good to know,
Indeed. And he takes another big bite of his apple. He's like housing this thing. He obviously hasn't eaten in a minute, so.
The Ro was like kind of looking at it, kind of disgusted by Nico's
it's kind of-
way of eating.
It's kind of really off-putting, and actually a little impressive in a way that how this individual is able to basically scarf something that's usually, usually considered to be pretty difficult to eat, and your teeth definitely hurt
Yeah.
afterwards,
Break
Nico.
your teeth, I'll hit the roof.
Nico,
Should we go look for more food then? Nico seems hungry. I can always stare at the Cyclops later.
Well, I must say, it was very generous of you and your patron here to accompany me. We could go to the Cyclops. I am at least held over until the next one.
And Makit will just skip over to the outstare the Cyclops booth.
I must say, mostly here for work, but the sights of the Witchlight do always surprise, and I wouldn't mind cleaning what this Cyclops has in store.
Okay. Let's go ahead and do that. I want to get this for you guys. All right, so you head over to the outstair of this Cyclops booth, and we will end with this. But you guys head over, and you see a rather large booth. It's topped with it kind of, well, much like the picture, it's kind of a red striped roof booth, and it kind of arcs upwards into a large, what looks like plastic eye with eyelashes curved out onto it. And you see, weirdly enough, there's no one manning the booth inside, but sitting on what kind of like the counter inside the booth looks to be like a Cyclops head, and it looks real. It's moving around, it's looking at people as they walk by, and as you walk by, it yells out, "What do you do when the eye of the Cyclops falls upon you? You stare right back if you've got the stamina." And you take a look at it for a moment, and you realize that this isn't like really a magical trick. This isn't like a disembodied head. From what you can tell about the spaces at the base of the head, and you can see a little bit of the neck, there seems to be a Cyclops kind of like actually sitting down with like crisscross applesauce underneath this booth.
That's awesome.
And
That's amazing.
you kind of get this vibe, but obviously this isn't inside of a booth, but that's like kind of what the Cyclops head looks like.
I love that. I love this big
What
unibrow.
happens if I win?
Oh,
Kinda
are you
handsome.
interested?
Yes.
Well, you get one of these magnificent carnival prizes if you win. And you look around the booth and you see a lot of things. You see trinkets, you see wooden wands, you see packets of pixie dust, bottles of what look like wine, toy replicas, a whole bunch of stuff. Would you like to try and outstare the Cyclops, little lady?
Yes, please.
All right, well,
Yeah.
step up on this little wooden step in front of my stall. You're quite short, so you'll need it. Just tell me when you're ready. And you can see the Cyclops is already starting to do some like test blinks, like he's like extending his eye and like blinking to kind of get himself ready. He's like, this is best to do when you're having a staring contest. Just kind of.
She starts like trying to do the same thing, but she's like awkwardly blinking the eyes out of sync, and she's like,
Yeah, there you
for a
go.
second.
Yep, you got it. You may
Okay.
you may actually have a chance.
I'm ready. And she just
Alrighty.
kind of like opens her gross giant eyes
All right,
and
3,
just starts staring.
2, 1. And he stops blinking and he stares right at you, and it's intense. I need you to make a about 5 seconds past, 10 seconds past, 15 seconds past. And I need you to make a Constitution check for me.
Oh gosh.
About 20 seconds past, you begin yourself start to strain. 25. You think
Can I
you're
give her-
doing
can I
pretty
give her
good?
guidance?
It's too late for that.
Okay.
And around the 25-30 second mark, you can't hold it any longer, and you have to blink. And the Cyclops goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, little lady. You're welcome to try again. I actually forgot to punch a hole in your ticket. Would you mind lifting your ticket up to my mouth?
She does so, yeah.
I don't really have a puncher like all the other stalls, because it doesn't do much use. So I'm just gonna take off a little corner of your ticket if you don't mind." And
Okay.
he gently nibbles off a quarter of your ticket. It's like, That counts as a punch. So you've got 7 left on that ticket.
What are the punches for?
Well, each ticket is good for 8 attractions.
Oh. Okay.
But it's okay. It's all right. You're not kicked out when you get 8 punches. You simply just have to go get another one.
Okay. I'll come back later when my eyes are rested.
Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else want to outstare the Cyclops, or at least try?
Try,
Can I-
outstare the Cyclops. Perhaps the one with only one eye could try.
One eye is just fine. One eye is just fine.
Excuse me, Nico, please. Can I talk to you down here?
Yes, of course. And Nico bends over.
Are you
Nico,
all the
please.
way still down there? Oh no, you're with.
No, I would have kept up with
Okay, cool.
Mickey to watch her do the Cyclops. Nico, please. Did you just say I am a Cyclops too?
Well, I wasn't implying a Cyclopic heritage. I was merely, waxing poetic of your missing appendage. I didn't know.
Please, Nico. I'm going to ask you, please, politely, do not talk about my eyes, or you will experience the true death of the artist.
Ooh,
Please.
Yeah, Nico is good and intimidated. You don't even need to roll it. So,
Okay, please. But also, I want to show you that you are correct, and also I will look at the Cyclops. Please excuse me.
I love
I'm
the
not-
energy of you're right that I will fuck you up.
Yeah. Zerk, this is a pretty big decision to make. I'm not sure if you want to do this, but can I cast guidance on myself? I'm completely fine if not.
Yeah, you're free to cast guidance whenever you want.
Okay. Oh, wait.
I hit the wrong button.
Oh yeah. Well, we can when I use it later, we can use that one.
Yeah. Do you wanna try the staring contest?
Yeah. I will walk
Okay.
up to the steering contest.
He goes, "Oh, another little lady. Are you friends with the last one? Where are you at?
Please.
Go up here."
Wait, I thought this was the Cyclops. Oh no, sorry. I got confused by this giant eyeball. Yeah, Roma walks up, almost with an arrogant confidence, to the booth. And what did the booth guy say?
The booth guy said, were you friends with the other little lady?"
Please, I do not want small talk right now. Please,
By all means.
on with the game.
Well,
Game
first,
longer.
he kind of opens his mouth and chitters his teeth.
Is that you chewing my ticket?
Let me nibble off a little piece of your ticket.
Ugh. Oh, I love the ticket disgustedly.
Alright, he takes off a little piece of your ticket and goes, "Alright, well, tell me when you're ready." He's already started his eye exercises again.
I was born ready.
Alright, well, then by all means, count down from 3.
1, 2, 3.
You catch him by surprise. He goes, "Oh!" And alright, kind of the same vein, you make it to about 15-20 seconds before you start to strain. I need you to go ahead and make a constitution check.
Oh no!
Wait, I want to reroll with Lucky.
Do you actually have lucky?
I do not.
Last
Okay.
character, yeah.
No.
It's unfortunate.
Lucky sucks.
You feel like you're going really good, and then out of nowhere, a loose piece of streamer flies out of nowhere and hits you in your open eye, and you go, "Ah!" and it makes you blink. Obviously, and he goes, "Oh, I mean, that's unfortunate, but unfortunately, it still counts. You did blink. You got to watch out for that. You know, it's only going to get worse as the carnival progresses."
Is the ticket guy within reach?
Yes.
I'd like to grab him by his shirt.
Whoa.
You sent the paper, didn't you? You sent it into my eye. You tried to blind me.
Little lady, please.
You tried to blind me. I know you did.
At this point, another. There are a few Witchlight hands around, and you see a blue-skinned tiefling come step around. He's kind of watching these stalls in this area. He says, "Excuse me, ma'am. Please do not touch the Cyclops head."
Hands off me, teen boy.
No, ma'am. I'm going to have to ask you to release the Cyclops' head, or I'm going to have to escort you to the entrance.
Fine. You walk away with a reprieve from now. I will find you later.
Right.
And I will make you pay.
Thank you, ma'am. He takes his spot back, like over here somewhere. He says, "All right. Well, I mean, we're all friends here. I mean, you know what? I'll let you try again for free, since that was a rather unfortunate situation."
Yes, I do feel quite lucky. I do feel like.
All right. Well, count down from 3 again, but please do it a little slower for me.
3.
Yes.
A 1, a 2.
Begin.
Well, all right. Constitution check. Ooh. All right. You hold it for 25 seconds, and you can start to see like the Cyclops' eyes begin to water around the 35-second mark, and you are just dead set. You know, revenge has to be yours for what how this Cyclops wronged you by sending a piece of streamer into your eye. And at about the 40-second mark, the Cyclops can't hold it any longer, and he blinks. He goes, "Oh my! Quite the constitution, little lady." See, it was all fine. It was just a little piece of debris that caused that unfortunate event.
You're nothing without your papercraft minions.
All right.
Charlatan.
Let's see what you've won here. And you see the head turns around, does a 180, and you can see the large Cyclops hands come out the far end, and he grabs you.
Is there a wall of prizes?
There is, but he seems like he's not letting you pick. He's picking one for himself.
Okay.
He grabs you a small trinket, which actually is
A pair of glasses.
Some magic eye juice.
Bifocals. He's mocking me.
Menacingly.
What did you say, Brett?
Menacingly.
Menacingly.
He's just standing there.
all right. It is he reaches down and grabs a small vial of viscous label, and he turns around and hands it to you, and you see that it is labeled with a small piece of parchment. It says, "Fomorian spit, do not drink." There you go, little lady. Well won.
I can keep this? This is mine?
That's yours. Yep.
In the same way Roma snatched the ticket, she snatches the bottle.
Yes, just make sure to follow the directions. Don't drink it. Though it may be fun to experiment with on some rocks or something.
I appreciate your concern, game monger. Your business is adequate.
Thank you. Feel free to come back if you want to give it another go.
Oh, you would not like that if I came back. We both know.
Uh-huh.
And then I wink with my good eye and walk back to the group.
Okay.
Makit, I got you a gift.
Me?
Yes, it's a jar of spit.
She grabs the vial and she'll hold it like close to her chest, and she starts squealing again, and she's like, "Thank you! I knew we were friends."
Yes,
What?
close friends.
Chittering tickets and ocular tests. Despite all the paper, it worked for the best.
This guy, he makes fun words.
I rolled to kill myself.
As you finish that
In
exchange,
Minecraft?
Domino and Cade, you guys are still having a conversation with Madrick, but you all hear the fireworks near the big top fire off once again, and the words they spell out this time is it is 3 hours till big top.
Dawn of the 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The final 3 hours.
Yeah.
Dun dun.
And I think with that, that's a good stopping point for the first episode of the new campaign. We'll pick up next week, starting with Domino and Cade, and finishing their exchange with Madrick. And then you guys can do whatever you want at the carnival.
Let's go.
Bro, let's go.
I am already loving this. This is a breath of fresh air compared to the constant death drive that had to be kicked in our last campaign.
I just
I
have
don't know.
to-
With Zerk, I don't trust that murder isn't right around the corner.
I was half expecting someone to die on that Cyclops.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, you've been petrified. You're dead.
The illusion goes away and it's a beholder.
I'm just happy that we got everyone introduced in the first session. I wasn't sure how fast everyone was gonna.
Yeah, at first, I literally was counting, like, portraits and then counting, like, people. I was like, okay, who's not introduced yet? Because, and then it was just me, and I was like, all right. And I didn't know, like, if Brett would take off and be like, well, these people are following me, or if he would, like, stop at the bubble top.
I could have. One of the
Bubble pop
cards
teapot.
one of the cards I pulled today was Expeditious Retreat. I could have just fucking bolted.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Well, I mean, not that. I am curious as to how the inevitable combat will will occur with this type of group.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
with this type of group is a important distinction because this is as I told you guys when we started. This is a campaign that you can technically get through if you're clever without doing any combat, which is why. But I know you guys like combat, which is why I suggested we roll into Icewind potentially afterwards. But figure it out. You guys will monk up something. I know it.
I'll try my
Gotta
best.
practice the voice. Everybody's voices are good.
I mean, I don't
love-
know, obviously, everyone else's backstory, but I know I gave you a bucket full of knives, so there's no way that I don't fight something at some
Yeah.
point.
Well, I guess I'll go ahead and stop the stream and we can kind of recap and everything. But
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. So yeah, we'll wrap that up.
Cool.
Goodbye, anybody watching?
Very
Glad
well.
I don't have to do my Rylath voice anymore.
Thanks for
and I can
tuning
just
in,
speak.
Mad Ladders.
Yeah, true.